you guys win just because of the fact that you guys win off of the sheer frag potential you have. And that's like pretty much as far as I can go. All I can review is just how much you guys can frag this. Dash gets a nice pick onto fucking Ryujay Jonak because Dash is Dash, like I told you. This is Dash's Junkrat.
I like Ryujay Jonak.
He doesn't give a shit
nice.
if you're... He doesn't give a shit if you're like fucking... He doesn't give a shit whatever you are, he'll still try to kill you. He might die because of it, but he also might live because of it. So yeah. Newt decides... This is actually not a bad ultimate by Newt. This is actually what I would say pretty good ult, because you're right now playing to win this fight. And you want to cancel out any sort of counterplay that people would try to pull. However, you don't kind of kill the Zarya immediately. Luckily, the Zarya is a slow-ass player. And when the beat does go down, the Zarya does kind of like just...
I probably should have saved the beat just because they had a Zarya and
yeah, you probably should have saved the Zarya for Zarya Grav.
Yeah. But it didn't matter anyway.
And you guys win. It doesn't matter anymore, but it mattered at that time.
Yeah. In higher, like, places, that would have been the better move.
Yeah. Well, just in general, it would have been a better move.
Yeah. I like Nepal. It's a pretty good map.
I like it too. It's actually a nice map. It forces out all kinds of a lot of tanks for me. I like Ilios the most because it forces out all three of my main tank characters. Orisa.
I like Ilios, but Milk doesn't like Ilios because Orisa.
I love Ilios because it forces like all aspects of my play, and it really tests me like to see if I can withstand the verticality instead of just being a one-trick player.
I like it because all three of the maps have edges you can boop off people.
Yeah, that too.
I need to restart my computer.
I'm gonna kind of go back over here because we kind of chatted a little bit too much about how we just love Ilios and Nepal. So over here, you guys decide to open with the high ground over here, which I actually quite like. If Milk I see you say this goes for a rotation here, then you guys rotate downwards. A little weird by Blue Jay over here. He looked like he tried to predict damage, which is bad. What Blue Jay should have done is he should have reacted to the amount of damage. Like he did not. Like Blue Jay kind of predicted a little too hard there, ended up throwing out his bubble early. He should have waited a little more. So wait a little tiny bit more before, he should have waited a little bit more and maybe predicted the Soldier Rocket, because Soldier Rocket does a lot of damage. So he maybe could have predicted that along with his bubble, and then probably do his friendly barrier.
You know what I like, where your mouse is, wherever it goes on our screen, the frame quality just kind of drops. If you just move your mouse around, it's...
I guess.
Yeah.
I am recording this team session, so yeah. So, pretty much, you guys have a very shaky opening here. I'm just gonna say that. I hate your opening. This is, like, probably the most shittiest Phase 1 I've ever seen. Blue Jay completely fucks up both of his bubbles and barely gets any charge. Milk isn't even enabled with bubble. Or is he? He is enabled with bubble, but then Dash kind of makes Blue Jay's bubble worthless by booping the Reinhardt away. So, Dash tried to enable Milk by booping the Reinhardt away, and Blue Jay tried to enable Milk by having the Reinhardt swing into Milk. And that just completely negated each other. My god. Horrible. It's disgusting. And now you guys are in a position where your Zarya doesn't have any charge. And the enemy team has a nice angle. This is also bad for Milk too, because he's not shielding the damage, nor is he, like, contesting the Reinhardt. He's just swinging his hammer for no good reason. Like, look at this.
Well, I speed boosted at the time. I think we were trying to just move on to the end.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about that, what the actions are. I'm talking about the focus of Milk. You can tell Milk is not even focused on these DPS at all. He's just like, Milk is focused on this Reinhardt, wanting to kill this Reinhardt here. It's granted that you guys do call out a target. However, Milk needs to fulfill his role still, even though you're granted, what Milk can do in this position is he can trust you guys to focus down this Reinhardt by, and what he would do is he would try to negate these DPS's potential by just shielding this angle, or maybe shielding this angle, like whatever angle your team is playing at, this soldier is shooting at, that you could just try to pressure. Because you want to make sure that because Milk wants to make sure this soldier doesn't get as much value as possible. Same with the Ana too. He wants to make sure that this Ana's value is, like, negated as much as possible. so that way the enemy team, one, can't support their Reinhardt with Ana, and two, the soldier can't do any sort of counterplay by shooting into you guys.
Okay.
Yes.
The quality's kind of doo-doo, by the way.
Yeah, don't worry.
Very hard to see.
I will be reposting this on I will be reposting this on my YouTube channel, so you guys will be able to see it in much better quality. Don't worry about it, okay?
Hey.
You know, I'm happy that we got to play against Ryu J. Jonak, because he was actually a pretty good person to play against.
Oh,
For
really?
sure.
Yeah, he was actually pretty good. Like, he was better than the rest of our team, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Made them not lose that bad.
Yeah, he's the only reason it was close, for sure.
By the way, I want you guys to tell me what's wrong with this composition.
Mercy is doing nothing for it.
Yeah.
What?
And Soldier.
usually-
Okay, hold on. Yes, it can she can pocket the Soldier, but there just shouldn't be a Soldier. Therefore, both of those two should just not be there.
Yeah, like usually if you're on a Mercy, you want to like maybe power boost a Bastion or a Pharah, but we kind of just got a Soldier in again. Could
What
work
is the
probably
one...
well.
Wait, hold on. You guys... Okay, good answers,
Alright.
decent answers, good answers, decent answers. What is the one main critical problem that this team composition has regarding Mercy? What is the critical problem this team has?
Nothing to support her, really.
No.
No defense.
Defense. What?
No defense.
No defensive ultimate. Exactly. That's the one thing that this team composition is missing. And so, now now you guys have a win condition where if you guys can manage to get yourself a Grav, you would just automatically win this fight.
True.
That's the one main critical problem with this, is that if your boy Blue Jay plays pretty well, you guys can easily just win this fight off of like Zarya Grav. And another thing, tell me, what's dangerous about this one composition? What's the one thing you need to look out for when playing against a composition?
On a blade or
Yeah, but
Grav. Nano Blade, that's what it's called. Yeah.
Yes, Nano Blade.
Yeah.
Grav Nano Blade is also kind of overkill too.
Or they
but-
can also try Nano Visor if they're really.
Yeah, but they're going to mainly do Nano Blade. I believe,
Yeah.
if you notice the way how this team is playing, they're playing in a way to enable their DPS player, which is
Yeah.
UJ Jonak, so that's why UJ Jonak is on Genji, and why they're playing Ana, just so they can do Nano Blade.
I don't know
what's
why
that-
they tried to focus
now,
on
how can
enabling
what can you guys do about it, as an individual or as a team? Give me solutions of how you can counter or nullify or like any sort of counterplay against this Nano Blade. What would you do about it?
We could, like, if everyone's trying to enable Zima, Ryu Jonak, we could just pressure Ryu Jonak to the point where he can't even get anything done.
So basically constantly giving the Genji trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Or give the support backing him up trouble.
Yeah.
Like, someone on the high ground could probably, like, shoot at the Ana, and if they do hit the Ana will probably back off. They won't be able to heal the Genji, and then you could try and hop.
Yeah. Another thing, whatchamacallit, now, say ult-wise. How can you counter a Nano Blade ult-wise?
Just tired, dude. Just tired. Just shattered.
Yeah,
Beat,
tire
dude.
shatter.
Just
everything.
grab it, dude. Just
Grab
hide
it.
All
it,
6
dude.
outs.
6 head.
Just sleep it, dude. Like you can
You
just
could shatter, you could shatter the Genji and focus the Genji like that. You could grab the
Lucio
Genji,
ult.
you could and focus the Genji like that.
You could hide
could-
it.
You can high noon, but then and like kind of zone the Genji a bit. You can tire the Genji. You can sound barrier to nullify it. There's a lot of counterplay. So whenever playing against, so this is one thing. So remember what I said in the first time when we got to this VOD review, Nightmare?
Mm-hmm.
What is the first thing I talked about whenever in the beginning of a match or in the beginning of a fight, in the beginning of a round? What was the first thing I talked about?
No, see what ultimate combos you have.
Exactly, and not just their ultimate combos, but also
Their ultimate combos.
exactly immediately off the bat.
30,000 IQ. Wait.
This is something you should constantly keep planning for before every fight, before every round. Like once you know all 6 of their members on that team, that's when you start looking for ult combos. stuff like that. You need to immediately
Yeah.
start putting together ult combos for the enemy, and then you need to start thinking of counterplay of how you can play against it.
Big bets.
That was a nice nade by you, Salas. Good ult charge for you.
He has a lot of good nades, for sure.
So Milk gets a nice fucking pick onto Ryujay Jonak, because Ryujay Jonak's bad, even though he's the best player out of the entire team. He's still bad. And you guys just pretty much press W and just get shattered for it. It's unfortunate. Yeah, the only reason... So you guys actually had such a good advantage there in the beginning. However, Vixie landing that shatter onto Milk was basically Milk's fault for not taking into account the Ryan shatter. Because Vixie knows that if you... Vixie is going to constantly look for a shatter at every second of the fight. And so Milk needs to constantly be aware every second of the fight that Ryan's going to look for shatter. And he needs to predict when Reinhardt is going to shatter. Always. And be ready for it. So, because Milk was not ready for it, he got shattered and you guys got shattered, and then they got picks onto you guys. However, Kraven Dash, being Kraven Dash, just decide to... This. Just this.
This.
Because Kraven Dash is Kraven Dash.
Hell yeah.
We have,
dude.
like, the most fraggiest fucking DPS in the game.
Let's go, dude.
Let's fucking go.
Let's go, dude.
Easy clap.
So, now you guys are about to go into the next opening phase. What could you do here to gain an advantage? I want you... Tell me, what can you do to gain an advantage against a sort of composition like this? What should you be doing at this point?
Planning an ult
I
combo.
don't know.
Planning no combo? Okay, that's one thing. What else? What else should you be doing in this fight, in this phase of the fight?
Planning what they could do. Seeing
Exactly.
like how we could counter it.
Yes, exactly. Good job. And so, what is your plan So, what would your plan be right now? What was your plan? What would your plan be right now to kind of like counter their ultimate? Like, which ultimate combo? Which ultimate combo are you countering?
We could try and shatter the Genji just because the Genji has their ult. If we could get a pick on them, then we could try and kill the rest of their team before they can even get their ult off.
Yeah. Good. Okay. Good job. Yes. And so
We just-
immediately Genji decides to dash and nano blade, and Milk tries to shatter him, but he kind of is unsuccessful. Milk needs to play
again.
Sacrificial more often. He tried to preserve his life over there. However, if he gotten a few more hammer swings off, he could have like lowered the HP of the Mercy or the Ana and died quicker instead. But instead, he tried to save his life and thought he could live. Milk shielding over there was actually a bad decision because he didn't need to shield. He didn't even need to shield because he was gonna die anyway. So he should have just went dying in an aggressive fashion. This
I'm
is
getting a
good by
phone call. I'll be
Blue Jay
right
not-
back.
This is good by Blue Jay not using his ultimate. Good discipline. Dash being dash, just spamming chokes. And now we're about to get into this next phase of the fight. So, what should you guys be doing at this moment?
Same thing.
Finals.
What are you planning?
Combo.
I'm pretty
What
sure
is it that you're
at this
exactly
moment-
going to do? What are you going to do? You guys are saying the ideas. Okay, I get your
I
ideas.
said,
What's the
like,
action?
we could use Zarya ult and Nano him.
Nano Reinhardt?
Yeah, Nano Reinhardt, and then he swings into the ground.
Exactly. So should you be playing? So you should be playing this out right now, right?
I actually said that. I remember saying that during the match. We should try Nano him.
Yeah. But then, however, You know what's even funnier? Did you guys kind of notice one small thing here that I kind of did forget to pull out? But what happens whenever you play against a composition that doesn't have a defensive ultimate?
You just destroy them.
You just
press
destroy
Q.
them with grab. Exactly. You just press Q with grab, and they will have nothing to counter it. Nada.
Just press Q, dude.
And I
Just
made
fucking pressed Q, and they're just gonna all die.
melee.
Look at that. That's so great. You guys didn't even need to use Nano. That's how good it was. That's how bad this composition is. This is the reason why I don't like running Ana Mercy on maps, is because they can just immediately grab. The only time it would be good to probably run Ana Mercy is if you can snowball. Because Ana Mercy is, in my opinion, is more of a strategic comp rather than a meta, rather than a standard composition.
Or if
Because
they're
a
on
standard
Diva instead
composition
of
is
Azar.
bad. It's horrible. Over here, Genji gets another Dragon Blade. If only you guys were good at ult tracking, you would know that this Genji had Dragon Blade, and then you could have, and a Newt could have like barriered this. However, I'm not sure if Newt manages to land the barrier correctly. Let's see when Newt
I don't know.
decides. One thing I'm very curious of is when Newt decides to sound barrier. Does he decide to sound barrier at the sound cue? Does he decide to sound barrier at the end of sound cue? Does he decide to sound barrier when he is dashed upon? Let's see when
No
Newt
sound
decides to
barrier at
sound
all.
barrier.
Let's see.
All of this win condition will be
exact
completely
time that-
dependent. This win condition will completely be dependent off of whether Newt can act, whether Genji gets value or not will be completely dependent on how well Newt executes the sound barrier. But before
Dang,
we take
no
a look at
pressure.
that, we get to look at something deliciously funny. Papa, easy fight. You guys win. Krev getting a nice flank scouting angle. Whenever you guys are up in pick advantage, whenever you guys are up in pick advantage or in a 6v5 situation, push.
Yeah.
Whenever there's one guy out and you guys have 5, and there's only 5 and you have 6, push. I don't
Definitely.
care who it is on the team. Somebody needs to call and press W. Because you guys could be getting so much picks right now. Of course, Nug is like, oh yeah, we can go push, but then you guys kind of do it a little bit late. Like, you could have pushed a little earlier in this. You were a little slow here. And you don't really have any sort of target focus in this. Like, look at this. Look who's being targeted. There's like barely any target focus here. Of course, you guys eventually focus the Reinhardt, but it's a little bit slow. And then you guys got the Ana and stuff. Newt. This is your mistake right here. Let's just look back here. Let's just look back at this.
They had 3 dead.
They had 3 dead.
Yeah, the McCree wasn't there. The Reinhardt was dead in the honest.
Ah.
Was it worth beating?
Actually, very good question.
Damn.
I was going to get at you for it, but that's a really good question. Is it worth beating? Ask yourself this. How afraid
Should've
are you
gone.
of that Genji?
Well, you see how much I died. You think I'm afraid of many enemies?
You should be.
Yeah, I should be. I know.
Hold on. Scare, you play with Korean voice lines, right?
I used to. Then I switched off because, whatchamacallit, I forgot. I wanted to go back to the English voice lines for some reason.
That's
it was like
rude.
it was a fun little thing to try out.
Do you play on Korean voice lines?
Yeah, I actually do. Why is that funny?
Do you understand what they're saying?
No. Why would I?
He's basically just watching anime. That's what he's doing. So over here, you guys are doing pretty fucking good. You guys completely So this is actually pretty good by you guys as a team, because granted, while the Genji did get a Dragon Blade off onto Dash and I think he's Sailus, you guys killed the Genji, and now the team is still lost the fight. The team was already lost in the fight to begin with, so if anything, Newt, this was a good job that you did manage to conserve your barrier, but it's also important that you also negate the amount of effects, the amount of value that Genji can get with his ultimate, by just using your standard abilities, because you can still negate a Genji ultimate with standard abilities. It's just very
Yeah,
hard.
like using boop and stuff.
That was bad by Milk for not counter charging. What is with
I
Milk
tried-
and never counter charging? I've seen this prominent throughout his scrims. He needs to really improve on that stat. It's like he needs to really improve on that performance stat, which is counter charging, because the amount of times I see him in counter charge is very, very minimal, more than he should be. So over here, you guys are just basically trying to play Brawl. You guys are just still trying to fight it out. It's a bit of an uphill battle. You guys give up the point because of it and decide to regroup, which is okay. This is completely fine. Reinhardt decides to fucking feed his shatter for no good reason because Reinhardt is crap. And then you guys just basically get ready to push. You guys are up as a 6. Milk still has his shatter. Let's see what happens. Krev, being Krev, gets a stick. Dash being Dash.
I
And
want
then
that too,
Dash
'cause she ran into
gets a double kill.
boom.
Wait. We gotta time this. Dash being Dash gets a double kill. And Newt being Newt is Newt. Doesn't correctly sound barrier his friends. He didn't sound...
What about
he
how
sound-
they just played it?
Yeah. Let's look back over here real quick. Yeah, let's keep going. Let's go a little bit more back. You sound barrier, but your Ana still dies because you didn't sound barrier your Ana. Unfortunate. I have a feeling you kind of reacted late to that blade there. That's what I'm just gonna say. Your beat was so late that the Genji was able to get a pick onto the Ana right before the barrier was cast onto her.
Alright.
And you also look like you took a lot of damage from these 3 guys over here, and that caused you to lose your barrier quickly and immediately make you vulnerable to Genji Dragon Blade. And then Milk's like, no, I want to win the fight. And then he shatters and you guys win the fight. Oh, what the hell is Milk doing? He could have went for an early hammer swing. Yeah. And that is this VOD cleared.
You know what I'm glad they didn't